I'm a collector, kind of like a magpie. I pick up shiny objects from the street and bring them back to my studio. It amazes me how the discarded artifacts of different towns vary and what they can tell you about the people who live there. This process of collecting, it forms a library of puzzle pieces that I rearrange into sculptures. And this is the basis of my practice. I'm from Norway, from Stavanger. It's a small southern town. And I've been working in Oslo for the past 5 years, running a small gallery. But it felt like I wanted some change, some new impulses. And I don't know, Prague sounded like fun. And there's a lot of history here, like the old buildings, the kind of grandiose feeling that remains here. But the thing that I discovered when I moved was that there's not a lot of stuff that you can find in the street. I have to more actively search. So I go to like dumpster sites, or if I'm looking for something very specific, I could go to a secondhand market. I was working with theater for a long while, but after studying it for so many years, it felt like the spark had gone out of it. And I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to do theater anymore, and that's when I just lost direction completely. So by then I was around 18 years old. I ended up partying a lot, and that turned into like a bigger and bigger issue. So I was a junkie for a couple of years. And then my parents came in and they were basically like, they picked me up, put me in an art school, and told me to like, go do the thing that I knew how to do. And that basically saved me. It's kind of a cliche, but yeah, art saved my life. So it started with a sculpture that I made foundation year. It's kind of this combination of an axe and a rake. And it plays on this old slapstick joke that kind of you step on the rake and it hits you in the face. And it really amazed me how this simple combination of objects can create a whole new message or meaning. There's something about that, like an old thing, an artifact, the patina and it has more of a soul than if you buy something new from the store and it's kind of shiny and perfect and mass produced in a way. I would describe my art as it's about the tension between the hand and the big red button. I want to kind of trigger people's instincts. It's all about the object too. It gains its own life and interacts with the audience. I mean, it's definitely found object art, but I think that there's a big tendency in art today. It's been there since Dada art. And I really take inspiration from such movements from the last century, like Dada, Surrealism, Art Pauvre. They were all about that humor and absurdity, and but now, especially in the face of like the climate crisis and this general sense of impending doom that seems to be hanging over our generation, I think there's much more of a conscious choice that artists do, that they use found objects instead of buying and creating something new. There's a message in it. So this recycling and upcycling, it's really quite relevant today. The opening, that's a critical hour. That's when it happens. When I go into the gallery where my work is shown, it's really, well, I'm quite excited. Both in the sense that I'm happy and energized, but I'm also kind of terrified. Because you never really know until that moment something could go wrong, or like how people will receive the exhibition. It really makes you sweat, but it's also, I love it. There's something about art that it has this ability to kind of reawaken that childish place in your brain. When you look at art, you start engaging and looking in a new way. And maybe that can sort of open up our world too. After we've gone back to our normal life, so you can kind of just kickstart something that's lost.